jump on. All right, we are recording. So welcome, ladies, and to anyone that is listening at home, because there is going to be quite a few of you jumping on this call. I'm Jerry Penny from Nurture Queen Videos, as most of you know. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to the All for One, One for All community for sponsoring this Zoom connection. So I'm using their Zoom account, and we are a community of business owners and anyone really who just wants to help give to each other. So I am using their account so that we can go longer than 45 minutes. So just going to show you a little video here for a second. That's me. I help you make your videos raw. Now it has gone to full screen, so we'll see how we go with my mouse control. But is it full screen for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So just a little bit about me. I've, worked in marketing for more than 20 years. So obviously I started at the ripe old age of 5. And I actually got into marketing, and I wanted to be a chiropractor. I think some of you know this, but I got into public relations at uni because I was sitting there at the end of year 12 not knowing what to do. And my friend said, well, what do you like? And I said, after a few drinks, I love Absolutely Fabulous, Darling, the TV show. And so it was a bit of Pats and Eddie that inspired me. And she said, she's looking down the list and she goes, how about public relations? I said, fantastic. That sounds bloody brilliant. So she booked me into public relations at Monash, and the rest is history, really. So that PR course really led me down the arm of working in marketing. And so over the corporate career time, I helped in my roles well and truly over 5,000 different types of businesses, different businesses with their small business marketing needs. So when I became a business owner, this was just a natural type of thing for me to doing, is helping out small business owners. Now, Carly, you don't have to be on mute. I want this to be as interactive as possible. So don't feel like you have to be on mute. I don't care if there's background noises, because there will be background noises here too with 4 people.
Dogs at times can be very loud.
The dogs are, I'll let you know if the dogs are annoying me. So yeah, I'm an Aquarian, and so just be warned that I can be too giving sometimes, and my family loves Star Wars. So today's learning outcomes is learning about the top 10 tips to get on video. And why 10 tips? Well, I just came up with the saying one time with a hashtag get on video, and I realized it was actually 10 letters. And I love it when you do, what each letter stands for. I think it's really good. I don't know if it's called alliteration or acronym. I don't know. Acronym, something like that. Yep. So yeah, I thought it was a good thing. It just helps people remember things nicely. So I came up with these top 10 tips. It does say down the bottom, top 10 tips to get on video for LinkedIn. But this applies to absolutely everything. So now, sorry, I'm just going to mouse out, because when I can see all of this, I can't see everything on the screen. All right. So we're going to start with tip number 1. All right. This is the G.
Do you mind if I take screenshots?
Absolutely not, but I can provide you, yes, you can. You can do it. But I can give you slides, recordings, anything you want. So G, the first one is all about, the first thing you have to do. First one, get over yourself, all right?
Yeah.
People have a problem with their own voice,
yeah,
and the way they look on video. So just, it's all I can say about this is that it's only you that hears your voice your way, and everyone else hears you that way all the time. So just accept it and move on and get on with it, because if that's what's holding you back from making videos, then you just shouldn't be making videos at all. But yeah, everyone always hears you that way every day. So you really just need to gain the confidence in getting on video. So I always tell people just to start practicing, just start making selfie videos, do some Facebook Lives. Some Facebook Lives are some of the scariest types of videos to do. So maybe not start with that, but just practicing, and you don't have to get things perfect. That's the main thing to remember. That's the part of getting on with it, that nothing has to be perfect. People just will accept you for the way that you are. And in fact, on a lot of platforms, the more raw the video, the more traction they actually get, because people think, oh wow, this is so real. They're out there on the street just walking along, power walking, and everything's going on around them, and it's so engaging because it is so raw and real and everything like that. So I'm just going to escape again. Sorry, it's this menu. Get great advice. That's my last G bit. I couldn't see it. I can't move the menu item. So, you know, this is where you not just get great advice from people like myself who know what they're doing, but this is all about modeling on what other people are doing well. So Wendy, you'd know about all the modeling type stuff from the Coaching Institute. So it's find someone that's doing a great job and copy them, basically, you know, or take the best ideas that they're doing and model yourself on them. So I say to people, do research on the types of videos that you like, and what's appealing to you, especially if you are your own target audience as well. If someone like you is in your target audience, then figure out the types of videos that are going to be appealing to you, and just start writing down all the things that make them great. So you might say, okay, I only ever read videos with captions, right? I've got to do captions. I like it when, and you'll start looking at videos like a director as well, and you'll say, oh, I like videos when they just stay still, or I like videos when they cut in at different points, like here's a bit, there's a bit, you know, like things change up. So really have a look at, I'm always looking at different video ads and just, you know, vlog style videos and all types of videos to figure out what's working, what doesn't. And anyone can do this, you know, just be a really good critic, basically, because then you'll figure out what's going to appeal to you, what's going to appeal to your audience, basically. So is there any questions about the G tip or any things that you've seen?
She's got a question already.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's forgotten.
No, I haven't forgotten. I'm thinking out how to ask it, because I had it sort of earlier and then I lost it, started writing down points, because I can relate to every single thing you said. I'm not doing it, but I can relate to it. One of the things that holds me back from this is, and you mentioned you started off right at the beginning with get over yourself. So I'm comfortable doing them. I just don't like my voice.
Yeah.
On technology.
Yeah.
I can live with it in person because I can solve it. So my question to you is, what advice do you give? I know the get over yourself. I know the get on with it. I know about the confidence. I know about modeling. I model lots of people, and I'm doing more and more of this whole Facebook Live stuff anyway. But I just don't like my voice. What advice do you give? Doesn't matter how much I get over myself, I'm still not going to like my voice.
Yeah.
So what advice do you give? Should someone like myself who just doesn't like their voice go and have voice training?
Well, that is one thing that you can do. Paula Hansen, who's my choir coach, she actually does help people present their voices differently. And your voice is never going to change, but it can just be the way that you say words, enunciation, things like that. the way that you present, the less ums and ahs and everything like that.
Yeah.
Some people don't care about
Yeah,
that.
I think so. Yeah, so it's not so much the ums and the ahs. And I know, for example, I say really too much, the word really, but
Really?
it's actually is the way my voice comes across on technology is different. I think is different to
Well,
your person.
and that's the thing, is that we all hear our own voice differently.
Yeah.
The way that our ears are, they're to hear our voices properly, and this is what Paul has taught us, our ears would actually need to be forward like this. And if you bend your ears forward like that, you do actually hear yourself differently. It actually sounds a little bit deeper or something like that. But it's it's just one of those facts of life that we'll always hear our voices differently, I think. And after you've made 10, 20, 30 videos of yourself, you just really do get used to it, and you start to look at different things as well. So sorry, my voice sounds fantastic today. But besides the voice coaching, Wendy, all I can say really is that you just get used to it, and you just have to accept that everyone's always known my voice this way. I think you speak fantastic, and you've always got a very a real sort of authoritative type voice, and I think that's what makes you a great president in our BNI chapter. So I really don't worry about your voice, seriously.
Okay.
The most important thing that people are caring about, they're not caring about what you wear, they are caring about the content, whether they can hear you well. Sound is really important.
Yeah.
The lighting as well can just be really distracting when there's too much glare behind you. As we were saying before, I've got my shears down at the moment, but not the blockouts, and it's quite dark outside today, so it's not really an issue at the moment. But if it was a full sunny day, and that's the north behind me, then I would have those blockouts down, because that light behind you just can be too much. Yeah. So that's the most important things. Okay. And the content, people aren't paying attention to nearly as much as you think. So when people say to me, oh, do you think people will notice the microphone here, or oh, my hair was out of place there, I said, love, people wouldn't even tell the difference. They just, most of them are sitting there reading the captions. They couldn't have even told you what you wore in your video. So so the attention span of people is very small, as we know, and they're not paying attention to everything. So that's why
cool.
Going backwards. Here we go. All right, so no other questions about G. We'll move on to I mean, you can if you want. Is there any more questions about G? So we'll move on to E. So I keep adding more bits of E words to this tip, because I just feel there's so many things. So the first thing that I want to say about E is that to entertain and educate, okay? So 80%, if not more, of your content should be entertaining or educational. And that's the old 80-20 rule of, in anything, but in particular in marketing, 80% value, 20% sales, if you're lucky. So many businesses out there with their content marketing just push sales, look at me kind of stuff. But again, this is where you can do the modeling and really look at what you like on social media, and what's entertaining you, what's educating you, and what format these things are coming in, to really understand what's going to work with your audience. Think about the educational content that you're currently reading or taking in, basically. Are you doing a lot of your education through reading? Are you doing a lot of it through videos? How are you learning? And try and incorporate all of that into each other. And I think I cover this off in a later tip, but I'll just say it now, is that you've got to appease to all of the people, the kinesthetic, the visual, the oral people. You know, there's some people that will only watch videos. There's some people that will only read. And you need to do something for all of them. So whenever you start with a video is the best thing to start with, because then you've got a video from it. You can turn it into an audio, which can be turned into a podcast or just an audio file for your computer or your website or wherever. And then you can transcribe it, and you've got the written version of it as well to appease to the people that just want to read. So yeah, make sure that your content is 80% entertaining or educational. Any questions there, or thoughts or observations?
Just a word that came to me when you mentioned you're adding to the E-words. A word that came up for me straight away was entice.
Yeah, that's a great word.
Add that one in. Just even before I saw the one, just as soon as you said E, I don't know, that just came into my head, so I thought you might like to add that.
Yeah, entice. So what does entice mean to you, Lindy?
I think what it means to me is that I'm attracted to it.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to it. I'm taken by it. It resonates with me.
Yeah.
It hits a mark. And I think the point you made around the modalities is really important, that you do need to get people who are more emotional or are more left brain versus right brain, or kinesthetic or visual or auditory or gustatory or whatever. So and that's hard to actually try and hit every single modality. But if you can have bits in there that does, even for the gustatory people, you might use I'm just thinking off the top of my head, you might use a metaphor that uses food, for example. And straight away, someone who's more gustatory would be able to relate to that, as long as it's a good metaphor. Yeah. But yeah, Entice came up for me, so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. One of the big enticing things about videos is actually the thumbnails. So in YouTube in particular, it's thumbnails, successful thumbnails, it's a hard word to say, will get you more clicks, especially if people are browsing, because, you know, you could upload a video, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can get the video where your eyes are like this.
Yeah.
You know, or your mouth is like that or something. So it's really important to pick the right thumbnail, but not just, you know, if you Slack, you just pick the right thumbnail from the video where someone's smiling or looking decent. But the best thing you actually do is create your own thumbnail image in a program to really tell people what that video is about. Now, this is very different to clickbait, because clickbait, and my kids love the word clickbait. Clickbait is when it's trying to entice you into a video and it says, you know, the 10 things that are going to kill you today. And then the video turns out to be for prescription medication or something like that. You know, it's totally deceiving what it's really, really about. But your thumbnails don't have to be clickbait. They just, as long as your thumbnails are still relevant to what your video is about, then places like YouTube won't penalize you for that. So it's really important to have a really attractive looking thumbnail with some kind of text added to it, or some kind of call to action, or what you're going to get out of it, or you know, some kind of click here to find out something or other, or ask a question, or even just a big keyword. So like, I'm doing a video series for a business coach, and on his thumbnails, I'm just going to put up a keyword like accountability, you know, this, that, responsibility, vision, strategy, you know, just keywords like that to help people understand. And the other enticing thing is also the title of the video. So sorry. So it's really important to get your title right, particularly on YouTube, for example, because people search for videos not like a computer algorithm. So sometimes people are putting in titles of videos like a computer might search for it, and they might do. So I'm just going to mute while I cough. Can I mute? I can't get to the button. Okay, so we're talking about titles. So sometimes people write their titles on YouTube like a computer is searching for it, and there's no humanization to it, you know. But the algorithms actually work the same way that people type a question into Google. So, you know, back in the good old days, we used to search for Italian restaurant Cheltenham or something like that. But now we search, where's the best place to eat in Italian? Where's the best place to eat Italian in Cheltenham? You know, we write sentences like that, and that's the way the search things work now too. They actually search on that. So one of the best ways to title your videos on anything for the algorithms is to pitch a question exactly like someone would be searching for it in Google. And a good way to find, again, what people are asking Google is to just start typing it in, and Google will bring up all those most popular things and the way that people have been structuring those questions. So it's a really good way to title it for your videos, and that will help with the SEO and everything behind your videos. Do you guys understand what the SEO is around videos? We'll cover it off in O, don't worry. The last O, I think we cover it off in. So, but that's, you know, where Google is searching for your content. So, emotion. So this is a big one to bring in to videos. As the two of you know, I presented at BNI a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about how video shares emotion, and I just burst into tears while I was presenting the video, because that video just brought so much emotion to me. And I was just trying to share the story of how the guy from Peter Nichols from Change the One had started his charity because he'd traveled to, first of all, it was Papua New Guinea after the tsunami, and seeing how the aid just wasn't getting into the villages, you know. Like he said, this village has received a bag of rice and that was it. So according to some checklists, that village had been given aid, but there was so much emotion in that video, and you can just you can go back and you remember being told about the tsunami and hearing about all the terrible stories and everything like that. And if you get the right music and the right lighting and the right mood and everything like that, you know, I can cry from a video within the first 2 seconds just by looking at it. Like if I know it's going to be about some kid or sad story or something like that, I'm just like, oh, I just choke up straight away. So I don't know if you guys are the same, but videos, you can't get across that emotion any other format, you know. It can almost get there on, you know, on just the audio, on radio and podcasts and things like that, but it's just not the same. So just try and bring any kind of emotion into your videos. Please don't be an Elliot Goblet on video and just, you know, unless you're trying to be entertaining like Elliot Goblet was in those days. But yeah, the more emotion that you bring into the videos, the better. Any questions or thoughts on emotion?
No, all makes sense.
No, music and stuff can have a powerful thing. Like even the kids, my daughter used to know when there was a scary part going to happen just purely by the music.
The music.
And we couldn't go any further in that movie. She was done.
Yeah, I used to do this as a kid, because like if I just kind of looked out just the little peaks in the hands, then I was okay. But I sometimes actually, if something's really scary, I'll turn the music off, because you realize how much the music actually does affect you. And it really gives credit to the music producers and the people that make the music for these movies, because if you listen to a movie with no music on, it's just like, what's wrong? What's wrong with it? There's something really wrong. So yeah, it just wouldn't be the same. So the last bit of E here is to edify your expert. Now, Carly, you'd know all about edification in the network marketing world. They're always talking about edification and the three-way call and how, you get on, if you're talking to a prospect, you get on your upline or someone that's doing really, really well, that's above you. And that's the whole point of edifying. Now,
we do it anytime there's a handover to anybody else in any of the training. It's always, I'm going to introduce you to Jerry. She's amazing with the videos, and there's four kind of key points to touch. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, that's it. Why am I ringing? Sorry, can't talk. Where's my phone? My laptop's not ringing.
We edify all the time, yes.
Yeah, edify. I mean, the best ways for you to edify yourself and others is to do interviews. So I have done so many videos, and I've got to get most of them out on LinkedIn still. I've got a backlog of videos to put up. But I'm not the expert in the videos. I'm actually interviewing all these other people and getting them on and getting them to talk about some kind of business tip or something like that. And it improves my branding and it improves their branding. It makes everyone seem a hell of a lot smarter because there's two of you talking on the screen. So whenever you can use edification. So particularly in videos, but this is fabulous for podcasts and everything like that too. And, as the two natural ladies know, in radio and everything like that. So, yeah. Okay. Now.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
I just want to be really clear that I understand what you've just talked about in terms of edification.
Yep.
So my go-to for any word I don't quite understand is dictionary.com.
Yep.
So it says that edifying is to instruct or benefit, especially morally or spiritually, and uplift.
Yep. Yep.
So in the example you've given there, I think, Carly, you mentioned when you're handing something over, you introduce people to people. So I'm just trying to, I don't think I quite understand edifying your expert in this context.
So it's anybody, when I'm introducing someone to the next person, whether it be a training course or for them to help them, instruct them what to do next in their business. Be like, Kathy was maybe going to get on this call and I would have gone, Kathy, I'd love you to get on this call because she's great at what she does. She helps. So It's more like she helps people. So this is why she does videos. If you can't get on today, she's so helpful. She's going to give this as a recording. She's great. She knows what she's doing. She's an expert in this subject matter. So this is why it's like you hit off the four personalities of fun, knowledge. She's successful in it. She now does this as her own business. And she's a great person I love watching her and having her train us today.
Okay, gotcha.
So you could do it when you do training.
It's a third party endorsement often.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to increase your own profile by talking about how great someone else is, basically.
Yeah. So really it's a form of validation and acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And it particularly works in a three-way conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
But you can still do it in like an interview situation.
Yeah.
So
I've just thought of two ideas that I've got that I could do interviews with and put on LinkedIn. So
excellent. Yeah. Please share them if you want to.
Yeah, well, when I did training last year, when some of the training I did with TCI last year, they always give bonuses when you buy one of their trainings, and I bought both, which I tend to do all the time.
Yeah.
And one was a interview with Sharon Pearson.
So you get to interview her?
I get to interview her.
Yeah.
And which I haven't taken advantage of yet. And one is to interview Matt Lavaz, who's one of the master trainers, who's incredible. So I could stage that before the end of this year and get them both on an interview and post that on LinkedIn. So I like that idea.
Absolutely, especially for the people.
I would, there's a lot to edify about both of those guys.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Take advantage of that, and make sure that you get it on video.
I might have to have someone there video it for me.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, great example, and I'm glad that you're getting some ideas to figure this out. Things that you can do. You know, Carly, in the network marketing world, you know, it's really great to show just what other people are doing, you know, giving constant examples of the, you know, the life that people are living or the way that they're helping people. It might not be something that you're doing, but by the fact that you're sharing it and showing how great it is and you're promoting someone else, in the end still makes you look better.
And then what you said about the three-way conversation is because your friends sort of, they like you, they trust you, but they, like, it could be, it's not until you introduce them to an expert they might more listen to some of the details and exactly what's going on, because they hear that someone else is good at it. So I can maybe share people what Wendy teaches me all the time in the Coaching Connect world, but it's not until I go, right, let's go and hear Wendy and sit and let you and get my friend to listen to Wendy, then they'll more listen to what Wendy said, even though I could have said exactly what she said.
Yeah.
I now know her as an expert, whereas I'm just a friend.
Yeah, and when I've made an online course in the past, it was there were two of us presenting, but for every module we got on an expert and got them to present with us, because it just made it so much bigger, you know.
Yeah, it does. And another example I've experienced that, I think you were both at the awards event. I've started following Paul Mccarthy's podcast series.
Yeah.
The marketing club thing that he does, and he every week interviews someone, an expert on a topic. Yeah, and they're always really interesting.
Yeah.
So he does it, so I can see now where the edification is coming in there as well. I just hadn't ever used the word edification. I would have used the word acknowledgement or value, you know, validating and stuff like that. So
it's not a word that's very often used, but I did network marketing for a while, and they used it all the time.
So, but it's a good E-word too.
Yeah. So I was looking for an E-word, so that's what I chose for that one.
Yeah, nice one. Very good.
So you've learned all about a new word.
Love it.
All right. Tip number 3. We better keep moving, hey? Talk it out or teleprompt it. So this is all about whether to script or not to script. Obviously, the best types of videos that you can make are just talking off hat, talking live, getting it out there, try not to waffle. But a lot of people just can't do that, and they have to use a teleprompter. So what I suggest, if you are going to talk it out, is that you just have some prompts on a piece of paper, an index card or a whiteboard or something, something that's in front of you, so that you can remember the 3 things that you want to talk about, so that you don't get distracted. In fact, I would actually always recommend in a short video, like a 1-minute video, that you only talk about one thing. And if you want to talk about 3 things, then at the end of video 1, you say, watch my next video where we'll go into number 2. Watch my next video where we'll go into number 3. So don't try and talk too much. There's some more T words in your videos. Really keep them short, because the attention span of people is like goldfish. And you've got 4 seconds really to create an impression before someone clicks next. You know, you think about the YouTube ads and all that, the way that YouTube works and everything, how you can, I'm talking about when the ads pop up at the start. You've got 4 seconds that I think that you have to watch that ad before you can hit skip ad.
Yeah.
But you can make a hell of an impression in 4 seconds. So just have a think about that the next time you're watching one of those ads, and how a lot of ads like that don't get to the point in 4 seconds. They'll just waffle. And that's why I say don't even put your introductions, your fancy 10-second introduction or something at the start of the video, because that's just 10 seconds of wasted real estate. The best way is to just start engaging people straight away. We'll talk about that later. But talking more now about teleprompting. I'll just skip to the next slide so you can see here just a couple of things. This app, Big View, is available on your phone and your desktop, and it's a great tool if you want to. If you have the paid version, you can actually stand in front of a green screen like Ben was doing on our Zoom call yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it will automatically cut out the background for you, and you can replace it with something. But it also lets you hop into your phone, and I'll just get it up just so I can kind of describe it better. Just hopefully you can see this here. But what you can do straight away, this was me practicing this morning, but I can say present now unscripted and just start filming, or I can do a teleprompter script. And let's just see if I can still paste in something from today.
Cool.
I'm just going to waffle. I'm just going to write some words so I can show you. All right. So I've done some words here, right? Just waffle, waffle, Gaffney, blah, blah, blah. And save my project. Oh, headline. Don't need a headline. All right. So you can see here, hopefully you can see this properly.
Yep.
That my phone is ready to record me, and the first words are already up the top there. So this morning I tested it, and you can paste a whole script in. So I'd copied something off my notepad on my phone and I pasted it in. And you can hit record, and it does a countdown. And because it keeps the words up the top, you can look right into the camera at the top. And it just does it all there. Wow. So I just chucked in some words there a second ago. But it lets you then, that doesn't put the captions up on the screen, but that's if you really wanted to stick to a script, you can paste that in there. And because it's coming up like that, it looks like you're actually just looking straight at the lens. It doesn't look like you're reading a script, basically.
Yeah. That's brilliant. But even if you didn't have a script, because scripts can be quite stilted, even if you just had, as you say, some keywords. One of the things that I learned when I did my facilitation training, which is all about speaking without notes, is structure it in a frame, like have a framework, and just have your 4 frames that you want to do, and you remember your 4 frames, and you know your content for each of the frames. Yeah. What's an example of 4 frames, Wendy? So big picture, environment. So I use critical line model. So environment, structure, implementation, and people. So my message might be, why is this message important? What is the message about? How do I do whatever the thing is? What's the content? And so what? So what's the outcome and impact of doing that? Is an example of a frame. Yeah. Awesome. All depends on the topic. Yeah. So Big View is a good one that you can just do that on your phone or your iPad. And like I said, if you've got the paid version, it was about $80 for the year. You can do green screen background if you just buy a green screen, and you could add music, you can add captions, and on the desktop version, there was a whole bunch of other stuff you could do. Like you could drag in, it must be related to Twitter, but you could drag in Twitter feeds and other things to make a more complete video, not just of you talking. You could add other elements to it. So it's just a really good kind of DIY tool that I feel it's actually a pretty good price compared to a lot of them. So yeah, there's Big View. So again, that's the best one for using your own teleprompter if you're doing a selfie. Mm-hmm. If you are getting someone else to film you, or you've got someone that can hold something else up for you,
then this app here that says Lite, that's actually an app called Teleprompter Lite. I've just upgraded to the full version and it was only $20. And the full version has actually allowed me to reverse it, because I bought one of these, a proper teleprompter box thing that goes over your camera and allows you to put the iPad in there, and it mirrors the image, and it means that no one has to hold it, basically. So it's that next level up. And when you're doing that, the text actually needs to be mirrored, and because people are reading it like a news teleprompter, but most people don't need to do that. And what I did before I got my teleprompter box thing was I used to just actually put the Teleprompter Lite app on the iPad, and I would just, again, you can just copy and paste anything into it. You lay it all out, and you could literally, for example, if you were making a video yourself, you could film yourself on Zoom on your computer, but you could have the iPad just positioned above it, or a phone above it on the tripod. If you imagine just a phone sitting above your laptop there, and you could be reading a script at the same time, or you could set up, one phone doing teleprompting, or iPad teleprompting and filming yourself on a phone or something like that. There's so many options that you can do, really, but it is a really great app if you do need to have someone that really needs to stick to a script. Then just download Teleprompter Lite, the free one, and off you go. Any questions about teleprompting or anything like that?
No, but I'll share a thought, if that's okay. Just your comment around, when you're doing a Zoom and you can have stuff. I'll do a Zoom, and because it doesn't matter where the position of the screen is on your laptop, the camera still takes the whole image. I often have my OneNote on one side of my laptop and the video Zoom on the other side.
Yeah.
So I just sort of have, if I need notes, particularly if I'm interviewing somebody and I need to refer to questions, I just have it on the side of my laptop, and that sort of works reasonably well too. But that's when I'm static. I'm not moving around or anything.
Yeah. And I mean, the good thing about the teleprompter then is it can just automatically scroll for you. So you can set the speed and the size. You can make the font as big as you want almost. And you can just play around with it and practice it to the speed that you want to. And it just really helps with that flow, basically. The final app that I've shared here used to be free, now it's not, is otter.ai, and Otter is a transcription tool. Now there is plenty of other places that do this, but they're not as good. And I offer this as a service just for people if they want their audio file or video file transcribed. It is, I would say, 99% accurate, depending on how clearly you speak. If you stutter a lot or mumble a lot and things like that, it can get a little bit confused. But it is great to be able to. Every time I make a video, I cut it, I edit it straight away, and then I export it as an audio file. As well as a video file, and I'll upload the audio file into Otter. You can upload video files as well, but it just takes a lot longer to upload. So I'll upload the audio file, and within a couple of minutes it's spat out its results, and you just go in there and you edit it, and it will play it back to you. So you'll hear the talking and you can go, oh, he didn't say should, he said could, or something, so you'll go in there and fix it up a little bit. And not only can you export it as a text file, you can, which is great for when you want to just transcribe something for a blog or something, but you can export it as an SRT file. So SRT files are the caption files that YouTube and Facebook and all these other platforms use when you've got the automatic black and white captions up down the bottom that just pop up. Now, Facebook will do this, YouTube will do this. So if you do load a video into YouTube, it will automatically do it for you, but it's very prone to more mistakes. Both Facebook and YouTube ones aren't that great. And then you can do all this work fixing it up, and sometimes it takes a long time to fix them up and try and get the timing right and everything like that. They're very fiddly. And you'll do all that work, and then it only works on that platform. So if you want to have those captions across platforms, the quickest way to do it is to use something like Otter, and it will download the SRT file for you, and it's already timed, so it knows exactly this line was set at 13.1 seconds to 13.7 seconds. It knows that, and it puts it up then. And so then you've got that SRT file. You can upload it to Facebook with a video. You can upload it to YouTube with a video. You can upload it to LinkedIn and Vimeo and all these other places. Not Instagram at the moment. It seems you can't do Instagram. But that's one of the benefits of using Otter, is that you can use it across all platforms.
I'm guessing that'd be good for when things change, when new apps or the new favorite of the day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it just means that you've got a good record of what you've talked about. So with this business coach that I do 4 videos a month for him, we video them. The first thing I do is send him the transcription from it, because then he is turning each of those videos into another chapter of a small book. So his goal is, we've just finished this quarter's videos. Don't know what's going to happen next quarter, but he can still film them himself. That's fine. So he is, he gets that text from the video that he talked in, and in 2 minutes, you can sometimes say about 500 words. So if you're someone that can just talk and talk and talk and talk on a topic, it's actually the quickest way to get your content written, because it's just transcribed for you there, and it's there. Whereas if he had to sit there and write those 500 or 1,000 words, it wouldn't be the same. But if he gets up and talks about it, it's a lot easier for him. So then he gets the video, he gets the transcription, the SRT files and the text files, and so then he's got all the different formats of his content, and then that will turn into a book. So we're all about multitasking and recycling and everything like that. Make as many versions of your content as you can. So I think we've covered all the T's now. Talk it out, teleprompt it, title it, which is subtitles. Sort of talked about that. Yeah. So the 2 types of subtitles are SRT files, which they call closed caption files. And the other type is to actually burn it in. And that's where, like on the style of videos that I often do, it's just a bar across the bottom, and the text is changing depending on what they see, but it's always attached to that video, and it will never look different. It will never move around or magically change. Sometimes SRT is just magically change for some reason. So yeah, there is the 2 different options, but you can still do both as well. I often put up people's videos with the burnt in captions down the bottom, like on YouTube, but then I'll also upload the SRT file, because Google reads SRT files. So it's really good for your SEO, for the SRT files to be up there. But as well as the SRT file, to always put the transcription of what you've talked about in the description of the video as well. So just put those words everywhere, because that unfortunately is what Google reads. Google doesn't read the videos itself, it reads the text surrounding it. So make sure that you've got your keywords set, your title, it will search the titles, the description text, and the SRT file. So there's 4 things that you really need to
to think about when you're putting up videos, and this is included on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. So not all of them, pretty much all of them you can do keywords as well. So there's sort of my T areas. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does. I use Otter quite a lot to transcribe trainings and things, and it is brilliant. I didn't realise all the stuff you've just talked about, so that's a great one thing though, you mentioned that it used to be free. Well, I still am on a free program. I've had a free program for 18 months. You get 600 minutes a month.
Yeah, I think on the free one you can't export. It will transcribe, but you can't export SRT files or something like that.
Maybe. I wouldn't have even known about that.
They changed something, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, now I've got to pay. And it was $150 or something. But, oh, well, it is what it is. So.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I wouldn't have known that. So I wouldn't have known about SRT files, but certainly I know I still haven't paid for it, and it's been brilliant. Yeah. So I hope I didn't pay for it for no reason, but I'm pretty sure I all of a sudden just went in there and I couldn't do exactly what I needed to do, and I had to upgrade. So never mind, that's the cost of doing business. That's it. Yep.
All right, so we've done those ones. Another app, sorry, just one more app that I discovered is Quick. QUICC, like quick closed captions. And I was QUICC. Let me just escape out of here, and it was up on my internet browser. Just double check that I'm spelling it right. Yeah, QUICC, and it's just a really great way to create sort of Instagram style videos and things like that, and automatic captioning and everything. So on the free plan, $0 per month, you can get 2 minutes each video. Does that mean each month? 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes of video each month. So that's not much. So you could do one short video or 2 short videos a month where you could do that. But otherwise they've got like a $12 a month plan, and that's 10 minutes of captioning each month, blah, blah, blah. It goes on like that. But it's actually one of these ones where you can kind of stylize your videos a little bit more as well. There's quite a few of these types of programs now. So sometimes people just have to find the right one that's for them. But this one's a pretty good one, and it comes highly recommended. One of the podcasts that I listened to recommended this one as well. So it's just a good DIY option, basically. All right. So I just have this screen here because, again, where are we? Yeah. Oh no. Okay, we're up to O. All right. So open up and be honest. Get people to know you, like you, and trust you. So my O1 is pretty short and pretty simple, but the whole point is again with like the emotion side of things, that video is the best way for you to show this and to really show who you are. You think about all the videos that you watch of people on social media, and it might just be people in the business community in Melbourne or somewhere, and you've never met them in real life, but you feel like you know them because they're actually so open and honest, and you just get to know them. Like the first time I ever met Natasha Denman, you know, she does so many videos and photos, and you know all about her family and everything, and we're having a chat, and I'm just like, oh, and how are the kids, blah, blah, blah. She's like, how do you know the kids? I'm like, because I watch you on social media. Like, I feel like I already know you because of the way that you have come across on video. And it's kind of a weird one-way relationship sometimes because you seem to know so much about that person, but they don't know who you are necessarily. Like even one time I was walking down in South Melbourne, and I saw Andy Lee from Fox, from Hamish and Andy. And I just, in my mind, I knew him. And I just go, hi, Andy, how you going? Thinking I was talking to a friend. And he just smiled and said, hello. And then I realized, yeah, that was Andy Lee. He doesn't know me. But I just, my brain just thought, no, I know him. So, you know, people love honesty. They love the raw stuff. They love the imperfectionisms. There's a girl on Instagram, Emmy Lou Loves, I think is her Instagram name. And she's done some amazing things over the past couple of years. And she tees up with this really funny guy called Christian Hull, I think his name is. And he's this like gay best friend of hers. And, you know, they're really funny together. And they're both, they're living in separate cities now, but they're still trying to do videos together as much as they can. But, you know, she's like not your typical Instagrammer, you know, she's on the heavier side of she's not this skinny little midget or anything like that, but she's not afraid to get a Beyonce leotard on and strut her stuff and get it all out there. She doesn't care. She's presenting herself in a rented house with a brown 80s kitchen, and she's making her own cooking show and everything like that from this terrible looking kitchen. She'll take photos of her in her bathtub and it's like the worst bathroom you've ever seen, and she does not care. And she's got the biggest following because she's just so open and honest and true about herself. And that's what people fall for, basically. And it doesn't have to be all this perfect Instagrammer world, you know, like the perfect models and the perfect life and the perfect pout and the perfect selfie and the perfect outfit and everything like that. Like, you know, none of us are in that generation, thank God. But you know what I mean? Like there is this generation growing up behind us that they think everything has to be perfect, and they only know their pictures to be filtered. Do you know what I mean? Like they use filters and everything like that for every picture that they take of themselves. And so no wonder people, you know, they don't like themselves when they see themselves in the mirror, because all their pictures are so glammed up. It's not real. So I think luckily in our generations that real still works, and people appreciate that. So
Jerry,
yes.
Is there a fine line where it's too much?
What's as in the being open and honest? I would I always say to people, you know, you got to be careful about what you're saying on your business profile or personal profile, especially if it's, you know, if it's going to get political or anything like that. Again, some people don't care what people think of them, but it does open them up to trolling and things like that. But I always try and say, try and stay as middle in the fence as you can.
But I'm more meaning the oversharing of things, or can you do too many?
Well, I guess it just depends on your own personal boundaries. I wouldn't be recommending it for a business to be oversharing. No.
Oh, yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with you showing your mistakes, a bit of humility, and just you know, here I am on a bad day, here I am makeup free, you know, whatever it is. People don't expect you to be perfect, and they know, especially at times like this. Like I was saying to Ben, the kids have got to be upstairs, the house has got to be quiet. He's like, what are you worried about? Everyone knows that everyone's at home with kids screaming around, watching Frozen and everything like that.
And animals.
And animals. And he's like, this is real life. Doorbells. Did you ever find out who was at the door yesterday, Wendy?
It was a delivery. That's why I thought I knew it was going to be a delivery, so I thought I'll just ignore it. And it was, but he kept banging on the door.
Because he could probably hear you.
Yeah. But he just left it at the door, so it's fine.
Oh, good. Yeah, so, people know that this is real life, and this is, especially now, like I said, this is what we're dealing with. You always, I was on a call, I was doing a 1-to-1 with Prayer yesterday morning, and I'm like, sorry about that noise, that's the coffee grinder. Oh, sorry about that noise, that's my boy playing computer games, and now there's the coffee machine. It's just constant. And I know not everyone is in that exact same situation. She was lucky she was in her office yesterday, so she was in a nice quiet environment. But people just know that most people do business from home these days, and that these things are going to happen. So we've kind of digressed from open up, but you know what I mean. You get the point. So,
yep.
But yes, good question, Carly. There is, I think, sometimes you can really overstep the boundaries. You don't want to talk politics. You don't want to talk sport. You don't want to do things that are going to be too political in any way, shape or form.
But wouldn't it be as simple as you want to present yourself? Yes, open up. Yes, be honest, and yes, be true to yourself.
Yeah.
But be true to yourself in the way you want people to understand who you are.
Yeah.
Now, this example you gave of this young lady, or whatever she is, she's quite happy to be this out there character, bogan, doing whatever stupid things, and that's the person she's going after.
Yeah.
But if depending on, it's actually about being true to yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you can be true to yourself and be that person, and be honest and open up, then that's how you want to project yourself.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things going on to this. Just those people are the people, the individual being the influencer, but then there's us doing our business side of video.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I rarely post on my public Facebook page these days. All my family stuff goes in a family group.
Yeah.
People don't need to know I'm having breakfast with my grandchildren.
No.
They just don't.
No.
So, I think that's when I joined the TCI community, I did that because I'm friends to like 2,000 people I don't even know.
Yeah. And some people will choose to share that family stuff with everyone, and that's fine. That's fine as well, because it makes me, let's say you did share all your stuff of eating breakfast with your grandkids and things like that, it might make people walk up to you and go, oh, geez, you've got lovely grandkids. I've got grandkids too, blah, blah, blah. How old are yours? It could start a conversation like the Gaines profile in BNI, what are your interests and all this kind of stuff that you just might not necessarily have known about someone, but you found it out. So I think Ivan Meisner on one of his podcasts recently made an example of these two guys that had never, ever referred business to each other in the chapter. Yeah. And then all of a sudden one of them found out that they were both soccer coaches or something like that. And how all of a sudden they had this instant bond and they started referring business to each other. And that was all that it took. So yeah. It's interesting what we'll get. Why do we seem to be going backwards? Going the wrong way. All right. Oh, yes. So build your know, like, and trust is my big thing. That video is the quickest way to do that. You won't find any other quicker way to build a know, like, and trust factor than through video. So this is all about my favorite word from Nurture Queen videos, nurture. Nurture your audience like it's a newborn baby. I made a video when I was up in Darwin last year, and it was titled, "Do Not Treat Your Audience Like Crocodiles." And it got quite a few views, that video, because people were like, what on earth is she talking about crocodiles for? And my point was that crocodiles actually leave their eggs or their hatched babies after a day or two. Like 2 days is the most that they'll absolutely hang around with them. And that's it. You're on your own and you're only this big. And so I'm always saying that you really need to nurture your audience like it's a baby of your own, a human baby, not a crocodile baby. And you really need to think about everything that they need to move through your funnel. You know, what are they going to need? They're going to need education. They're going to need love here. They're going to need a birthday card on their birthday. They're going to need this. They're going to need that. You know, you really, everyone knows that it is cheaper to retain a customer. It's 10 times, it costs 10 times more to attract a new customer than it does to retain one. And this is why I called my business Nurture Queen Videos, is because I had called myself the Nurture Queen just before that. And I was really focused on the nurture marketing and the relationship marketing, because so many people, businesses, don't focus on retaining the customers, and they get their bucket of customers, and this is the leaky bucket example, and they'll just spend all this money getting new customers in, lead generation, blah blah blah, and then they'll get into their bucket, and the bucket starts to spring a leak, and leak here, there, everywhere, and the next thing you know, they just can't patch it up anymore. They keep putting band-aids on that bucket, and it keeps springing more leaks. And the reason for those leaks is that they're not nurturing their audience or their customers. So you think about someone like, you know, an insurance company. We're all so price driven. But someone like RACV, they're pretty good at keeping their old customers, because they will continually, you know, you get rewarded for the longer that you stay with them. And here they might be one of the most expensive on the market, but a lot of people stay with the RACV for a long, long time because of the things that they do to nurture you. Yeah, a lot of businesses are just so transactional that they're just thinking about that top line sale, and they're not thinking about how can I keep this person in my bucket for a lifetime. You know, and that's why in marketing you always ask, what's the lifetime value of my customer? And if you can turn someone into a fortnightly purchaser or a monthly purchaser or even a yearly purchaser, but for the rest of their lives, you know, what is that worth to you compared to just a one-off purchase? And if you've taken no interest in them at all, then they're just going to go somewhere else. And you know, 68% of customers will actually leave a business just to a perceived indifference. So that literally means that they just don't think that you care about them. So there's all these stats on why customers leave. 1% is from death or something like that. It's a very small percentage, under 10% will leave because of a price difference. But yeah, 68% just from feeling like they're not cared about. So it's just really something to remember, even that you can use video as a really, really powerful tool to help nurture your customers and figure out what they're wanting. And I just want to flick forward. I did put that slide in there. Good. Okay. So just a little something that I added into this today was about a video sales funnel. But first, before I get distracted on that, I'll just say the other M here, which is to just natively load your content. So all that means is Facebook doesn't like YouTube, okay? Because Google owns YouTube and Facebook doesn't own that. So don't put YouTube videos onto Facebook, and don't put YouTube video links onto LinkedIn and things like that. All of these platforms reward you for top. So top means time on platform. So anything that you're loading to any platform, they will reward you with more views for the longer the time that your person spends on that platform. So on YouTube, the worst thing you can do is put up a video and then tell people to go and join your mailing list, because they're going off the platform to do that. So the best thing that you can do on YouTube is nurture them through like 5 videos or something like that. And then maybe by the 5th video, you can say, go and get on my mailing list or something like that. And, you know, the same with LinkedIn, the same with Facebook. The longer you keep people on their platform, the happier they are, and they will reward you for that. So I hope that makes sense about natively loading content.
Can I ask a question on that? So that's, yep. and I'd come back to it at a later date, so I'm not going to dwell on it now. Because all of that's new to me, I wouldn't have known any of that, I don't think. So I don't know what my question is. So when you said before something about Google owns YouTube, LinkedIn doesn't.
Yep.
You're saying if you do a YouTube, don't put it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So in particular, you know, YouTube and Facebook don't like each other. So YouTube will not, Facebook and LinkedIn, for example, because LinkedIn's owned by Microsoft, will not reward you or show your video to very many people if you post a YouTube video link.
Yeah.
Because that technically takes you off their platform.
Yeah.
Always load it into Facebook. Yes, it's a pain in the butt that you have to sit there and load up the video 3 different times, and you know, if you don't have NBN, that upload can take a long time and things like that. But
so Jerry, that's the importance of creating a video yourself and owning it, and then what you said, loading it up individually on each platform.
Yeah.
So they stay there instead of sharing Instagram to Facebook, like those. Just load it separately.
Yeah.
And own the content yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So an example here, when I finally get my act together on this, which will be sometime this year, my thinking was to load content onto LinkedIn. And because I don't really believe my customers, generally speaking, are going to be on Facebook, but I'll still have a Facebook page. But I was then going to just put the same content onto Facebook.
You can put the same content on there. I would suggest doing it on different days.
Yeah.
But if you're going to load videos, load them separate. Don't share your LinkedIn link onto Facebook, because Facebook won't care. They're just like, no, I'm not sending people over to LinkedIn. No way. So yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's painful. But now this is an example of a video sales funnel, and I'm just going to give you 2 seconds to read this while I grab a tissue. Okay, so just hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, that's just, it's sales funnel. Yeah.
I think more companies need to understand this. Share the love before you sell me something.
All right. I should have just offered you two to have a little break if you needed one too.
No, you put us to work instead.
Yeah, okay, good. Have you done your work? Now, so this is an example of like a sales funnel, but really specific to videos. So sometimes in marketing, you'll hear about the AIDA model, which is awareness, interest, decision, and then some other A word. I can't remember what it is, but this is the basic, the same kind of thing. So, you know, in the awareness model, it's not saying that you need to create a film or a documentary or anything like that, but you know, you just think about, this is where you think about Coca-Cola, okay, like a really amazing they do really amazing sort of branded videos where it's just all about the love and the feeling and having fun on the beach, and it won't be till the end that you see, oh, it's actually a Coke ad. Or you might have seen some subtle things of people drinking Coke, but you know, they they don't often have to pop up the brand until the end. This is not something that all brands can do, obviously, but as you start building a brand, this is something that definitely could be done. Like, so Carly, if you think about your Kill Bill campaign, I'm just going to cough again. You know, Carly's with ACN, and you guys have a promotion basically about Kill Bills, but it's all in the theme of the Kill Bill movie, isn't it? It kind of looks like that. And
there's a book out now too.
There's a book out as well. So it's all about how to kill your bills and pay less bills and everything like that. So, and you can do that through ACN. So you can imagine if they really, really developed that Kill Bills brand, that people would just, they could see it and they would just know, oh, that's going to be a Kill Bills thing or something like that. You know, just if they really planned it out properly, that people would just start to recognize that. I was trying to think of another example, if either of you can think of one as well, where as soon as something comes on, you just know that it's that brand. For example, can you guys think of anything?
I don't watch TV, so I can't help.
Yeah, not necessarily just even on TV, but even just...
well, when Coke's going well, you know, because like it's all the summer ads, but then it's red and white and they added orange though into their colour, but black and white. Yeah. There's plenty other things out there. I'm just a bit brain dead at the moment, but
one that's come to my mind. I listen to the radio occasionally, but so it's audio, not visual.
Yeah,
so that doesn't work, does it? No, we're talking about videos.
No, it's still a good example though.
Well, you know, the Winston with a Y. I mean, that as soon as that ad comes up, it's like, oh my God. And National Tiles.
Yeah.
Like those ads straight away, you know what they are.
Yeah.
Or Frank DeCosta.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Frank DeCosta. Yeah, you do. And they have very catchy things, and with radio they have to do even more
they do
catchier things. So I think Winston with a Y is one of the cleverest ones, because there's nothing worse than a brand name that's hard to spell. So that is a good one. But you know, basically the point is that good top of funnel content focus on the emotional value, the story, and often, like I said, doesn't mention the brand until the very end. Okay, so like Coca-Cola. So the interest, the next step down in the funnel is, we don't all have to start at the top either, but the next step is interest. And so once interest is peaked, you know, a potential customer will seek out readily available information. And the first stops are often your website homepage or something like that. So Apple, for example, on their homepage, each product has got a product film, as they call them. And these are really well executed videos. They're very stylish presentations, giving viewers, you know, the information that they're seeking. But then moving further down the Apple website, it uses copy and words and everything in conjunction with the video content to show off the company culture and values. So it is a really structured thing in piquing the interest of people. And like it says here, this can often be used in the form of culture videos and presentations, interviews and things like that. And it's just that next level that you're going through to besides your basic kind of typical kind of ad, of just going deeper with your brand and things that you guys are about. So the next step that people go through here is the consideration phase. You know, so once someone has already viewed your website or your storefront or something like that, what's the next move and how can video help? Well, a follow-up custom email is a great way to reach people, but even better is to include a video in that email. So adding a video into your email actually increases the open and the click-through rates by up to 75%. So it really is a good thing you can do. So it says don't just send them a YouTube link, but this is where you can create a custom landing page that has an explainer video or something like that. And in this video, you can really explain things better about, you know, how good you are and all the benefits and everything like that of of what you're doing. But the great thing about it being like on a separate landing page is that you're not distracted. They're not getting distracted by anything else, and you can just go. And you've all would have bought these in funnels before, where it's it might be a really long video for sometimes, and it goes on and on and on about why you should buy this software or something like that. And then you click, and then there's a video that says, thanks for doing that. Da, 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 da. Oh, by the way, I'm going to offer you something else. And because you're so engaged, you were so engaged in the first video, they can easily sell you something else. And the next thing you know, they're taking you to the next video and thanking you again. And, oh, by the way, here's another purchase you can buy. I've done this a million times. Yeah. And it's always those videos that get you to the next level. If they had to just put the text and said, here's another $10 upgrade, here's another $10 upgrade.
Yeah.
But no, they explain it and they suck you in. And it's the videos that are doing it, because they've built this trust with you so quickly that you just can't build that trust any other way.
TCI are masters at this. Absolute masters.
Yeah.
So I get to model the best when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah. You got no excuse.
I know I've got no excuse. I've been hiding.
No longer, Wendy.
No, I know.
Right. So evaluation. So this is like people evaluating things that you're doing. So the perfect example is like reviews and testimonials. 72% of people will read or watch reviews before purchasing, especially online purchasing. And in this stage of the funnel, you should create and engage with online communities centered in your community, in your industry, sorry. So great examples are Sephora and Sony PlayStation. So each of these companies directly involves their community by using online video platforms like YouTube and Instagram. So Sephora, they create great personal testimonial videos of professional makeup and hairstylists recommending their products, but they also have products of third-party reviewers and everyday customers using their products, and it just creates this video loop. And it's kind of like the whole edification coming in again. It's like, okay, here's the professional people using the product, here's your everyday people using the product. Oh, what are they doing with it? Oh, what have they done? Oh yeah, that's some great ideas. Wow, all these people are using it. Well, I've got to try it too. Especially if it's an industry-based thing like that, you get huge edification there. Like Sony has its own YouTube channel as well that contains like interviews with like company team members, new product announcements, and stories centered on their industry. And the YouTube channel also acts as a hub for fans to communicate with each other. So you can totally create a community around videos and people sharing ideas and everything like that. So hope that makes sense. And then you've got right down the bottom here, if you can read that, the purchase stage. So, and this is what a lot of us do at the start. We actually create these videos as a top of funnel thing, in fact. So people often use how-to videos and webinars and things like that to get people into their brand. But after purchase, the best thing a company can do is offer support to a customer. So this is also the support kind of stage. So that's where webinars are a great way to stay in contact with customers and keep them up to date. And how-to videos can be a great way to educate customers on how to get the most out of their purchases after they've already purchased it. But it can also be a way to get people in too. So if you know about the blender guy, I think he's called the blender guy, they're huge on YouTube and they will blend anything, iPhones, bowling balls, whatever. So it kind of is a how-to video in a way, not that you'd be blending up bowling balls, but what they're kind of doing it like it is a how-to video, and but it's often more for the people that haven't bought the product yet. So, but if you just keep the simple philosophy of don't make a video just to watch, make a video that starts a conversation, okay? So if you always have that in mind, then you can't really go very wrong.
Yeah. Gary, have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Andrew Stapleton?
Oh, it's familiar.
He does videos on LinkedIn showing people how to do a good video.
Right, okay.
And the only reason I know about him is a colleague of mine who's someone who actually tried. He's one of the guys I reached out to come onto this, but he just couldn't because he's just had to work. Anyway, and he found him and he sends me his links all the time. So I watch him and he's getting coached by him on how to do his videos.
Yeah, yeah.
So just pop it with you having a look at that on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I sort of look at him occasionally. He's quite good. I mean, he's very, all the stuff you're talking about is resonating with what he sort of does.
Yeah, awesome. I'll check him out and I'll model myself on him.
Yeah. or he may get to know you and model him on you.
Yeah. We'll keep moving because Carly has to leave by 11:55. And
I've got another 12 o'clock webinar too.
So we will keep moving on and get through this nice and quickly in the next 15 minutes. It always takes longer than you think. Yeah. All right. So the V, just adding variation to what you're saying. So coming up with a big list of topics is really easy to do once you start thinking about it, about all the different things that you can talk about, and then you can, create sub-lists upon that. So, if you just start with a list of 5 things and then try and turn that into 10 and then try and turn that into 15 and example, just keep going on like that. But when you start thinking about what you can talk about, there is so many things. And if you run out of things, that's when you just start interviewing people too, because again, it's just a great way to keep you on video, but you're interviewing other people. And just to just always be adding value as well. So again, just providing as much educational type of stuff as you can, or entertaining stuff. We always need to be evaluating for everything that we're doing. It's just the market that we live in these days. Yeah. People expect so much for free or freemium type stuff, and they just expect great value, but at the same time, with that great value, they'll be more likely to purchase from you, hopefully. So just always be thinking about the variation of your topics and the value that you are giving. So just a quick one here about illumination and intention. So again, just the tips today. I'm not looking at the video because it's kept showing too much on my screen, but is it too glary behind me today? No.
That looks good. You're clear.
No, because it's quite.
And I think because you've got a dark top on, you're standing out quite clear.
Yeah. So I'm sitting right in front of a window, but just into our courtyard. So it's sort of the east area. So I haven't got this direct light on me, but I am in front of a window. If I wasn't in front of a window, I would normally have one of these, if you can see that, in front of me. So that's what I use at nighttime, is my donut light. And often I don't even have the overhead light on at nighttime because it can create a bit of a halo above your head, and you just really want to light up your face. So you don't have to have one of those. You can get these for pretty cheap on wish.com and things like that. But otherwise just a desk lamp or a bedside table lamp with a nice sort of soft kind of cover on it, just to help light up your face. And I saw a great example yesterday of a yoga instructor who's doing all her classes online now, of course. And she said, here's my tip: don't have your pants the same color as your mat, because people can't even see the contrast between the mat and what your legs are doing. So she said, I'll note that if I've got a purple mat, that I'm to wear light colored pants or something like that. So just, like you said, it's just that contrast of that dark to light and lighting up your face, because as gorgeous as we all are, people just want to keep seeing us. So, and just always setting an intention for your video content. So, sure, get on get on and make a video for the point of making a video. But if you just set one intention, and this is why I say try not to have more than one, then you'll keep on track for your video. And sometimes it can just get too long-winded and everything like that. And the top performing videos on things like Facebook are only a minute long or 90 seconds long. So keep them short, set your intention, and you say, right, just for this topic, I'm just going to talk about responsibility or something like that. So, and you may have in your head 3 bullet points that you want to make sure that you get out there about responsibility, but just have that one thing. And when you've set a good intention, you'll stay on a good path. So just with D, we want to make sure that you define your audience. So this is always figuring out who is your target audience. I have a really great niching exercise that I can send you if you want it, and it helps you really figure out your ideal customer and an ideal joint venture partner. And in the case of network marketing, Carly, I change it to your ideal customer and your ideal business builder, because sometimes it's actually different people that you're looking for customers versus business builders. So just make sure that you've really thought about that, and that you can make videos really specific to just that audience. So I was telling, the PT in our group the other day, I said, mate, you've got a pregnant wife now. So why don't you make some videos about training for pregnancy at different stages of pregnancy? You're doing this, you're doing that. I said, I don't care if you've got 10 different niches, but each message that you put out has to be just talking to those people. So I said, during this time, and you're going to be training people on Zoom or something like that, say, okay, guys, today's class is all for people that have their own dumbbells at home, because we're going to do a dumbbell workout. But for those of you who don't have dumbbells, tomorrow we're going to be doing workouts just with a kitchen chair, or something like that. Just really be very, very specific in who you're talking to, because the more niched you are and defining this audience, then the better it is. People often think that they'll just spray and pray and hope for the best, but the best thing you can do is always niche. And just diarising and dedicating to do it. So it's really simple to just plan out your year or your month or your week or something like that, a 90-day plan or something, and just go, okay, what things are coming up in this 90 days? All right, there's Valentine's Day, there's Mother's Day, there's this, there's that, there's the end of financial year, anything that might relate to your industry, and put it down that you are going to do these things. Put it in the diary that I'm going to make a video a week or something like that. I'm going to get someone to help me get it out there, or what's the word? Syndicate it, get it out onto all the different platforms and everything like that. But if you diarise it, it will get done, hopefully. And so just do it. It ends with that. Any questions? I know I'm rushing through this.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's important. Just do it, or do it.
Just do it. Just do it. The final E, there's a couple of E's, is exporting and engagement and employ someone. I just added that one today. So exporting, and I sort of mentioned this before, is all about making different versions of your content. So this is just reiterating to start with a video and then export it as a MP3 file, and all of a sudden you've got an audio file. All of a sudden I can make a podcast out of my audio files, it's that simple. And then export it into Otter, and all of a sudden you've got a transcription which you can turn into a blog post, which in some cases people then turn into a book or something like that. So this is the way that, even like I mentioned Natasha Denman before, this is how she gets her authors to create a book in 48 hours, is because she gets them to record a lot of it on their phone, and then they get it transcripted, and the next thing you know, they've got a whole bulk of their book written in a weekend. So just think about the different ways that you can export and repurpose. If I had an R in here, it would be repurpose, how you can repurpose your content. And just always thinking about that engagement again. So how can I engage people, and what will keep people engaged engaged, and again, to use the modeling here and look at things that you like, and just do a bit of research and just look at things. What's entertaining to me? What's engaging to me? What isn't? What really puts me off? And make sure that you don't do those things as well. And yeah, so the number one thing, if you want people to stay engaged longer on your videos, and you've probably heard me say this before, is if you say the word you in your first few words. So if you can ask a question, are you putting on weight, or are you tired all the time? Hey y'all, it's a great day to be here. Even the word y'all or something like that. You're never going to believe this, because if I'm looking right at you into the camera like this, you feel like I am talking straight to you by using the word you. And in fact, there's been research done on YouTube, funnily enough, YouTube, of like 30,000 videos and how long they were watched for. And the ones that had you in the first sentence and continued to use the word you or something like that, continuing through the video, they had much bigger engagement and longer view times of their videos because of the language that they were using in it. So always think about that. And it's really great to ask a question at the start of the video. So just remember the word you if you can. And of course, just down the bottom here, you can turn your videos into blogs, audios, e-learnings, create online learning, everything. There's so much you can do. All right, the final O is all about optimization and opting in. So I said I'd mentioned this before, so it's the video SEO. So this is just literally, like I said before, the things that affect your video SEO is the title that you give your video, the keywords that you pop in there, the description as well. So putting in the full transcription in the description. That rhymes. They will all help with your video SEO, and make sure that the keywords that, particularly in YouTube, that there's something unique to you in particular. So don't just do mortgage broker Melbourne, blah 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 blah. Like if this was for MF Simmons, you would also put, even though people aren't searching for it necessarily, you would put MF Simmons, you might put Medine Simmons, you might put Irina's name, a few different things that are specific to them. And then if you keep those same keywords that are unique to your video and you put them in all your other videos, when you get recommendations for other videos up on YouTube on the right-hand side, or sometimes below, or depending wherever they put them these days,
yep.
They are far more likely to be your videos and not other people's if you have these connecting keywords. So even if your unique keyword is something like fluffy bunny 123, and it's that same thing, just use that every time. It teaches YouTube to connect those videos to each other. Really, it's a really, really important thing to do, because you don't want people getting onto someone else's content on YouTube and they're a competitor. So
we should put that in a Word doc and always copy and paste it in. So we can
yeah. So I always have, for every person of videos that I do, I always have the keywords written in a text document, just separated by commas, and you can just copy and paste it into YouTube each time. And sometimes I'll change up a few of them, but I sort of have my set standard ones.
Yeah.
And if you just separate them by commas and then a comma space.
Does it need the hashtag?
No hashtags on YouTube for that. You can just copy and paste them in. So once you've got a really good set, just save them. And you can only have, it's so many characters on YouTube. It might be 500 characters or something like that. So often I'll paste in some for a builder that I do, and then I'll delete a whole bunch of them, like a whole bunch of suburbs and things like that. I'll just delete a whole bunch of them. So, because it always says to me it's too many. So that's the optimization. And just the final thing is to always remember to have some kind of opt-in or call to action at the end of your video. So just you've got to have something. So whether it's click below to subscribe, that's the perfect YouTube opt-in. It might be go to the link in the comments and click on here. Whatever it is, again, remembering the top rule, the time on platform, if you can keep people on the platform, then that's better for you. But your call to action could be to watch the next video, but just have some kind of call to action. And in particular on YouTube and other platforms as well, but YouTube's quite good at it. You can add these things at the end of your videos called end cards and stuff like that. So you can have a little picture that is subscribe to my channel. You can have watch the next video, and you can pick which videos they are. So if you had a series of 5, you can just do those in the right order. So all these little things that you can do, like it's not just uploading a video, there's all these little other tricks that you can do to really help with the top rule, time on platform, keeping people on there, and those call to actions. They're so vital that you have, that do never ever just leave a video just standing and just go, that's it for now, bye. You know, even if there's a call to action in the text below, it doesn't have to be necessarily in the video, just as long as there's something to take someone somewhere. So yeah, that's it. Look, we're right on 11:55. We won't go into these LinkedIn tips because there's not much different stuff anyway, but yeah, that's it. I hope you have enjoyed it, ladies, and to the other people that will be watching the recording of this, please let me know if you've got any questions at all.
I just have one quick question before we go. When you said before, have your key list of words and separated by a comma, and you've got your favourites and whatever, and you just put them in YouTube. Well, I've never uploaded a video on YouTube, but what do you mean put them in YouTube? Like you'd have to, you're not talking about the commentary, or you just...
There's a keywords section or tags,
right.
tags I think it's called in YouTube, and that's where you can just go Wendy Marshall, comma, Melbourne, comma, business coach, comma, business tips, comma, strategic learning, comma, you know, anything that you want, but and then make something that's really, really unique to you, because Wendy Marshall might not be such a unique name. So, and certainly terms like business coach and everything aren't unique either. So do something unique. Like I said, doesn't matter if it's Fluffy Bunny. People don't see these. It's only seen by the robots. So, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that
what was that?
Kelly?
Is Fluffy Bunny your keyword?
No, it's not. I just made it up.
I'm sure that when the time comes and I finally get myself moving on this, I will be talking more with you, I'm sure.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being on today. And like I said, any questions, let me know.
Thank you.
And
really
if you want these slides, I'll just, no matter what, I will share the video of this to you guys. And you can just access that anytime you like.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Have a great week in business.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.